revenue management system, Honorable Speaker, and some of them don't even have resources to procure systems. And National Treasury, with Council of Governors, had a to do a unified system like IBMIS, so that the governors don't have to procure a system. But most of them are resisting. Why are they resisting? It's because of corruption. Because it's easy to steal money from on-source revenue, because most of them are putting on-source revenue in commercial banks, where Treasury, Controller Budget don't have a window to see. They don't have a view of these particular accounts. That is why the governors are resisting to have one unified county revenue management information system, Honorable Speaker. This is something we need to pursue so that we have a unified system. It's easy to know. You can check what the counties are collecting. Some of the counties, Honorable Speaker, were collecting even more during the local government authority days. But now the revenues have gone down. Not that because they're not collecting. They are being collected, but the leakages are more. Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I don't want to take a lot of time. I want to support. And as Olekina has said, maybe then we need to do amendments and put a rider to say that pending bills should be given a priority. But not all of it, Honorable Speaker, because you had from Nara County, they have 6 billion pending bills. Out of 10 billion they're getting, if you pay 6 billion, then it means basically the county will not run. So maybe they need to give a payment schedule, and then they can schedule over a period of, say, 3 years or so, and then they give a commitment that they are going to clear all the pending bills. Thank you, and I support.
Senator Onyonka.
I, first of all, would like to really thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. As you're aware that some of us have actually been going through the emotions of what we need to come and contribute here about this bill. What is very interesting is that, number one, I want to give congratulations to the youth leader, Honorable Senator Oburu. He has raised very critical issues. I would like to also give credit to Senator Wakoli, who has also raised very good points. But I think, Mr. Speaker, the most important takeout from what has been discussed this afternoon is actually what Honorable Olekina has said. It's very interesting that all of us in this House, we have been here now going to be 4 years, and interestingly, if somebody was to take the audit reports and take the Hansard reports on the presentations and discussions which take place about the county allocation and division of revenue, the one of last year and this year, you just hear the same thing. You just listen, there's corruption. We discuss about, you have got Auditor General reports which have been coming. The Controller of Budget has constantly raised these issues. What are these issues about? There is no fiscal discipline in the management of financials. Mr. Speaker, as a result, we have ended up carrying pending bills which were never meant to be there. In fact, some of the county governments that previously had pending bills to maybe 1 billion shillings, now if you check in their books, and I intend to do that soon, Mr. Speaker, you'll find the pending bills have actually increased. So some of us have started asking ourselves, what is it that is wrong with our county governments? Why is it that county systems which had been put into place 15 years ago when devolution started, why do they look like they are not working? And I am convinced beyond any reasonable doubt, Mr. Speaker, that when we diluted Chapter 6, that is when the rain started to beat us. What am I saying? For many years, the IFME system has never been allowed to work the way it was meant to work. The way the IFME system has been working, it is, according to me, deliberate. When you go down and try and find out what the issue was, you are told it is Treasury that have been saying that IFMI should be domiciled within the Treasury. And in fact, there is no reason why you people should even worry about how the IFMI system works. And yet, Mr. Speaker, my conviction is that if you have the IFMI system fixed, where first in, first out becomes a policy and a standard for our county governments, chances are that is the number one solution to the problems of the pending bills. Number two, Mr. Speaker, you come to the very critical point. Yes, we are discussing the revenue allocation which comes from the national government. And of course, you are very sure, and all of us know, county governments actually collect revenue. And that is why what my leader, Kisang, has, you have the same system which is working for Makueni County. Why does it become difficult for county governments to accept one standardized financial platform system which collects revenue, which has been standardized to the local level, whereby you look at the local data to help you actually precisely collect the revenue and make sure that you are accountable for it? The reason is very simple. It has been said, local revenue is put in commercial banks. And as a result, the county revenue officers bank the money, the CC Finance and the governor have direct access to that money. And that is why you'll find some counties which have been expected to collect more than 1.2 billion shillings keep on collecting 100 million shillings and nobody talks about it. So we have a problem even with the revenue collection, leave alone the revenue expenditure which is given by the national government. Mr. Speaker, you need to look at what some of our counties are going through. The county governments do not follow procurement law completely. For example, my county government went and bought, the governor says he bought equipment for 1 billion shillings. Mr. Speaker, do you know what 1 billion shillings can buy in equipment? And you know, guess what, sir? There was no procurement. You know what, sir? This equipment has been imported from China. You know what, sir? This equipment, NTSA can't give you the documentation as who the owner is. And yes, Mr. Speaker, the document is not new. The equipment is not new. How did that happen? Why don't we then allow all government departments and sections to actually buy Mutumba vehicles? And yet nothing happens. And then you find everybody's talking about, oh, ESCC, they need to move, they need to do something. We have myriads and myriads and myriads of information and reports that anytime we do a report and we are asking questions about what has been happening in terms of wastage, the corruption that is taking place at the county governments, you hear basically ESCC does nothing. So we become victims where you are going to explain to the public what is happening to their money. They ask you, and what are you doing about it? And when you tell them that actually, yes, you people can account and talk about how senators got oversight funds, which are supposed to actually manage oversight and look at how this money is being spent, the oversight funds are not even there. And if it is there, tell me how I'm going to spend 1.5 million shillings, Mr. Speaker, in a year to oversight somebody who's running 10.5 billion shillings like in Kisii, like me. You have no vehicles, you have no data, you have no information, the MCAs are all compromised, so you can't even go and start asking questions because nobody will tell you. The chief officers think that anytime you're asking about these questions, it means you're fighting the governor. In fact, they say you want to become governor. I wish how they knew that some of us don't give a damn about wanting to become governors. The reason why some of us are actually thinking about it, Mr. Speaker, is because we are so embarrassed at the underperformance of our county governments and how the system runs. When you talk about HR issues, Mr. Speaker, talk to me about Kenya. Which areas do you find the largest number of ghost workers? It is within the county governments. Because every governor, when he comes, he creates an outfit where he goes out and puts his people that he calls his people. Because the ones he found who are there with the previous governor, he considers them to be his enemies. And imagine even some of these governors are actually not running for office because they left. And when you try and ask them whether they have done an audit showing the public employment numbers, showing what the total number of the wage bill is going to be, the amount of money that we are spending on the wage bill, Mr. Speaker, you will never see that. The same problem you have. What happens when it comes to this budgeting of the county government? Budgeting is done, absolutely. Money is allocated to departments and sectors. Once that is done, immediately the money is released like in the next 2-3 weeks, 1 month. Once money is released from here, every single payment that was going to be made, Mr. Speaker, what do the office of the governor do? They actually void all the transactions and all the payments that were previously budgeted for last year. So what do? They bring the people and the companies where they have an interest, and they pay them. In my county, Mr. Speaker, you find that the companies that are doing work for roads in Kisii County, about 15 companies are owned only by 2 people. It's against the law. It is so frustrating that we are unable to do anything about it, and yet the public looks at us as the solution to solving the problem about service delivery. And yet the same governors keep saying how we are useless. As governor, as senators, what do you do anyway? They tell us we do nothing. Then you proceed and look at what is happening. And again, Mr. Speaker, what I've found, and because I've done a lot of research in this, you will find that, look at our bursaries. Mr. Speaker, my county last year wrote bursaries, checks, single check leaves, 54,000 check leaves were written physically. Is that normal, Mr. Speaker? Why would somebody write physical checks? And yet every time when you look at the CDF, what do? You actually make a list of the students who are supposed to be given bursaries, and then what do? You take it to the bank, and the bank makes payment to RTGS. So why are we writing physical checks? Because, Mr. Speaker, the money, the checks which are being written, that money is actually what is cashed out in cash. That's why those checks are being written by hand. Mr. Speaker, can you imagine 56,000 checks? And how much does the county lose? Because a leaf is 100 shillings, is 5.6 million shillings by writing those checks. And yet we can pay money by RTGS. Why don't they want the money to be paid by RTGS? Because it will keep a record. But with a check leaf, you can talk to the auditor and it doesn't have to look at it deeply. Mr. Speaker, you come down and look at what is happening right now. Governors are the ones actually who are supplying milk to schools, facilities. We have got the health committee in this place. We have got all the committees we have. I can tell you, sir, some of that milk is actually not qualified to be consumed by people. Why? Because some of that milk has been brought from the international milk market, where some of it is either fake, is either made to look like milk, and it's a liquid that our children are consuming, and we have never investigated that. Why? Because people tell us that some of these governors are actually bringing powdered milk from out of the country. They come and give it to the companies that are actually doing milk processing and milk packaging, and that is how they sell their personal milk. And they take the packets which have got the milk and they have got everything. They put their picture there because they need to start indoctrinating kids the Moi way, that President Moi was giving people milk, and that's how they are remembered. So the guys and the ladies who are running our counties are providing milk as a marketing tool so that they can be re-elected and stay in office. And yet we have passed a law here which is saying we don't want anybody's picture, neither do we want anybody's name put on a product or a project which is being run by the county government or the national government. Nobody listens. Then after that, Mr. Speaker, you look at the amount of money that is being given for bursaries. We never discuss. When we ask how many students like my county has, nobody knows. When we ask how much money is being spent or even the milk the kids are getting, even the ECD teachers themselves, if I ask to be given the list of the teachers we have, Mr. Speaker, it will never come. So my point, Mr. Speaker, is that the breakdown of the county governments is so massive that I'm hoping that my colleagues in this House are going to come up and maybe we look for a select committee and try and figure out why is the system so deliberately broken? And if it is corruption, what is the best way we can do? That's why today, Mr. Speaker, my happiest moment is what Honorable Olekina has said. Can we take this Kara and say, from now on, if you don't make payments for pending bills, and those companies are known, Mr. Speaker, they are known. And the fear that some of us have got is that these guys will again now start paying their friends whom they have just put into the list recently. So the people who have never been paid for 10 years will still not be paid. But we can actually demand that an audit is done, which is very basic. Tell us, how many people have you paid? Which years were these up to which years? And are these current or not? And I think, Mr. Speaker, this is something that needs bravery and needs people who mean well, because our county governments, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't watch out, are actually collapsing. If you listen to some of the things which are taking place, my colleagues have talked about, Mr. Speaker, statutory deductions, payments for NHIF, SHA payments when SHA was working, money that is supposed to be per diem payments for certain workers. And what is crazy, Mr. Speaker, the workers cannot even complain to anybody because immediately they raise that complaint. Many of them are given show cause letters to explain why they are demanding that their NSSF and NHIF payments have never been made. So, Mr. Speaker, I am looking at this issue in a very interesting manner. Yes, we are fighting for our counties to receive more money, Mr. Speaker. Kisii County, Mr. Speaker, will be getting close to 10.5 billion shillings. 10.5 billion shillings, Mr. Speaker, if you take that amount of money and add what the donor community is giving us, we have always been around 12 to 15 billion shillings a year for the county governments. If you look at what the wage bill is, then you deduct from what the county government is getting, you'll discover, Mr. Speaker, that our wage bill is about 5.2 billion. And therefore, in the last 10 years, 5 years that I've had the current government, which I belong to, running, Kisii County, by the time we finish next year, would have received 50 billion shillings in 5 years. So, Mr. Speaker, the question I'm asking is very simple. If you give me 50 billion and your wage bill was 5.5, so in 5 years you received 25 billion shillings, what is the possibility that 25 went for development expenditure? Mr. Speaker, 90% of the money that is left out of the wage bill is put in recurrent. Why? Because in recurrent is where you pay fuel, where you have private companies being paid, like in my county, 70 million shillings a month. If you sit down and calculate how one company can be given 70 million to supply fuel for county vehicles, and the vehicles are not more than 30. When you look at fires happening in Kisii, because in fact one of the members of parliament, Honorable Barongo, he had a petrol station, he had a small interest, it was burning, and there is no fire station in Kisii. And yet if you go to the books, Kisii County is supposed to have 4 fire stations, which don't run, don't exist, don't function. So if we have a major emergency, we again have to look for the military, come to Nairobi, maybe talk to Nairobi County, and maybe rush to Kisumu and beg them, Onyamira. These are the frustrations we go through. And Mr. Speaker, our people are beginning to lose their patience. I support this bill. I hope there'll be an amendment so that we can then begin to fix the corners and the tenets which are making it impossible for the public to receive their money, because many of the county governments, and they hate us, Mr. Speaker, because I received a message from somebody who was telling me, wachana na hiyo Onyonka, anasema sisi ni waizi. The truth is, we have the evidence. We never accuse anybody for nothing. There are some incredibly wonderful people in the county governments who have delivered, who work, professionals, doctors, who just went to a place to work. But they are treated like political subjects, being thrown left, right, center. Somebody is an expert, has been taken by the county government for further education. He's brought, he's told to go and be a small person with an office in some level 3 hospital. The level of training, experience, and age doesn't even matter. Mr. Speaker, I really hope my colleagues will seriously look and consider the challenges we have in this House. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator Onyonka. Senator Danson Mungatana.
Mheshimiwa Bwana Spika, nachukua nafasi hii kutoa asante kwa kunipa nafasi na mimi nichangie mswada huu wa kuidhinishwa kwa pesa ambazo zitaenda kwa serikali ya gatuzi zetu. Na Bwana Spika, mimi nina furaha ya kwamba mwaka huu tulipata katika ule mgao wa kwanza katikati ya senti ambazo zinaenda kwa serikali kuu na senti ambazo zinakuja kwa gatuzi zetu 47, tulipata ongezeko la shilingi bilioni 13. Kwa hivyo sisi sote kwa ujumla tulipata bilioni 468, ambayo ni ongezeko la bilioni 13 kutoka hela ambayo tulipata mwaka jana. Na tulipitisha hiyo. Sasa leo tunaongea kuhusu mgao ambao tutafanya kati ya zile ugatuzi 47 ambazo tuko nazo. Na mimi nina furaha ya kwamba gatuzi letu la Tana River County limepata nyongeza ya zaidi ya milioni 223, haswa milioni 223,749. Mimi nimefurahi kwa sababu kila mwaka kama seneta wa kaunti hiyo na seneta wengine tunapigania migao yetu kwa kaunti zetu ziongezeke. Imani yetu ni kwamba magavana ambao wamechaguliwa na wananchi wakipata hizi hela ambazo tumezipigania huku, wataweza kufanya ile kazi ambayo inastahili kufanyika katika kaunti zetu. Bwana Spika, sote tunajua changamoto ambazo ziko kwa hizi kaunti na haswa usimamizi wa magavana katika kaunti zetu zote 47. Hivi ni kusema tuko na maswali mengi kwa hawa magavana. Kuna wengine ambao wamejaribu na tunawashukuru sana. Lakini kuna wengine ambao hawakufanya vile wananchi wanawatarajia. Na mimi Bwana Spika, ningependa kusema gavana wa Tana River ametuangusha katika ile kazi ambayo angefaa aifanye. Mimi kama seneta Bwana Spika, kama tungekuwa katika kiwanja cha mpira, nimechukua pass na nimempigia pass, mimi nikiwa nacheza nambari 10, nikampigia yeye anacheza nambari 9 mgongoni, lakini mahali pa kufunga ule mpira aliupiga nje Bwana Spika. Na Bwana Spika, mpira huu ameupiga nje kwa zaidi ya miaka 3, hajafunga goli. Na hii imeleta dhiki kwa wananchi wetu. Bwana Spika, hizi pesa ambazo tumeziongeza leo hii, matarajio yetu kama watu wa Tana River ni kwamba kwa mwaka huu kwa mara ya kwanza gavana awache vitimbi, serikali yake iwache kucheza na hela za wananchi, wafanye ile kazi ambayo sisi kama wananchi tunatarajia ifanywe. Bwana Spika, tumesema mengi kuhusu hospitali, tumesema mengi kuhusu ukosefu wa madawa, tumesema mengi kuhusu hela ambazo wafanyabiashara wanadai na hazijalipwa. Lakini leo ningependa kusema katika jumba hili letu la bunge la Senate ya kwamba tunatarajia sana kwa huu mwaka uliobaki, wakulima na wafugaji Tana River wanataka kuona hizi hela ambazo tumeziteremsha zifanye kazi kwa kitengo cha ukulima na kitengo cha ufugaji. Bwana Spika, ni aibu, juzi nilikuwa katika mji wa Kalkacha, hapo Makutano Hola, na Bwana Spika, nikaonyeshwa soko ambalo lilikuwa lijengwe pale Kalkacha. Soko hilo lilianzishwa miaka iliyopita gavana alipoingia, huyu gavana wa sasa. Mpaka leo soko limebaki limekwama. Na wenzangu wameongelea kuhusu mambo mengi, lakini mimi nataka kuongelea haswa kuhusu mipangilio au maendeleo ambayo yamekwama. Bwana Spika, si soko hilo la Kalkacha peke yake ambalo soko la mifugo ambalo limekwama, lakini kuna project nyingi za kiserikali ya county, ukihesabu madispensary ambayo hayajamalizika, majengo ambayo yameanzishwa ikifika nusu yanaachiliwa. Kwa hivyo mimi naomba ya kwamba magavana ambao wanatusikiza, haswa gavana wa Tana River, zile project ambazo zimekwama, zile project ambazo ulizikuta zimeanzishwa, ama zile project ambazo ulizianzisha na hujazimaliza, hazijafanyiwa ile kizungu wanaitishwa handing over, tafadhali usianzishe program ama project zingine. Maliza hizi project ili wakati unapoondoka, yule ambaye ataingia kuchukua nafasi yako ataendelea na mipangilio, na hii iwe ndio mpangilio sawasawa kwa magavana wote. Ni makosa sana kutumia hizi hela ambazo tunazipigania hapa alafu hazimalizi ile kazi ambayo inaanza. Wenzangu wameongelea mambo mengine, lakini mimi nasema kuna project ambazo zinakwama na ni vizuri kuzimaliza, kwa sababu serikali ya county na hizi hela, ili kuonekana kwamba zimefanya kazi, mpaka zile project ambazo zimeanzishwa, hata kama huyo gavana aliyekuwapo sio rafiki yako, umalize, kwa sababu wananchi hii ni hela yao. Hela ni ile ile yao na wanataka imalize ile kazi yao, sio mambo ya urafiki na gavana aliyepita ama urafiki na contractor. Hizi ni hela zao na wananchi wanataka kazi yao ifanyike mpaka imalizike. Kwa hivyo mbali na hilo, mimi ni kusihi gavana ambaye yupo sasa, ambaye anaenda kutoka, kwa hizi hela ambazo tunapitisha mwaka huu, wajaribu kuweka ufugaji na ukulima mbele. Sahihi pale Tana River watu wengi wanapata chakula ama biashara kutoka kwa hizi kazi mbili. Ikiwa gavana atasaidia wakulima wapate mbegu, wakulima wapate zile minor irrigation schemes ambazo zimeahidiwa na kuahidiwa na hazijapatikana, ikiwa gavana atatumia hela hii ambayo tumeiongeza hapa na kujaribu kumaliza mipangilio ya kujenga ma cattle dips kwa wafugaji, ya kutoa dawa kwa wale wanyama wao, ya kujenga yale masoko yaliyoanzishwa, basi watu wa Tana River wataona hela hii inafanya ile kazi iliyoandikishwa. Mwisho kabisa nikiwa nakaa, Bwana Spika, ningependa kuisisitiza tena EACC wafanye kazi yao. Pesa ambazo zinafujwa, Bwana Spika, hata mbele za Mungu, pesa ya raia, pesa ya maskini ambayo inafujwa kupitia hizi county government na hata county yetu ya Tana River, Bwana Spika, ni aibu, na watu hawana huruma hata kwa maskini, wanakula hiyo pesa. Na taasisi ambayo imewekwa kupigana na ufisadi bado hatujaona ikifanya ile kazi ambayo tunataka. Nikisema namna hii, Bwana Spika, tungependa kuona wakubwa katika county ambao wanahusika na kutoa hizi hela wanakamatwa na kupelekwa mbele ya mahakama. Sisi tunasikitika kabisa kwamba ushahidi upo na ushahidi unapelekwa, faili zinafunguliwa, maofisa wenyu wanatumwa, lakini ukifika mahali ya kupelekwa huko mbele, unaona watu wanangoja mwaka wa kwanza, mwaka wa pili, mwaka wa tatu. Taasisi hii inafaa ifanye kazi zaidi ya vile inafanya. Mbali na hiyo, kuna ofisi ya public prosecutor. Huyu naye amelala katika kazi yake, kwa sababu saa ingine wale watu wa kupambana na ufisadi wanapeleka file kwa huyu kiongozi wa mashtaka katika Kenya, lakini zikienda huko files zinaenda kulala tena, huku wamemaliza na huku haziendi kotini. Wananchi wanakasirika sana, haswa wananchi wa Tana River. Sasa inakuwa kamba ni fashion ya kwamba watu wanangojea eti gavana atoke ndio gavana apelekwe kotini, eti mkuu wa ofisi ya waziri atoke ndio apelekwe kotini, ati chief officer atoke ndio apelekwe kotini. Wazungu wamesema, justice delayed is justice denied. Yani ukichelewesha kuleta haki, hiyo haki inapotea. Kwa hivyo nakaa nikisema, ingawaje tunafurahia ya kwamba pesa tumepeleka chini, tumeongezea, lakini hayo masuala kadhaa ambayo nimeyataja basi yashughulikiwe, ndio wananchi wa Tana River na wananchi wa kaunti zingine wapate faida ya ile kazi ambayo tunaifanya kwa bunge la Senate. Kwa hayo machache, Bwana Spika, naomba kusupport mswada huo. Asante.
Senator Mungatana, haujasema machache, ungesema kwa hayo mengi.
Bwana Spika.
Asante. Senator Peris Tobiko.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity. I see time is gone. Let me try to utilize the less than 5 minutes.
Don't you worry, Senator Tobiko, because if it gets to 6:30, you will have your time to recover tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow you are sitting from 9:30. And I'm sure this is a very important motion. It will still be in the order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, but sometimes, because of other duties, the time might come when you're not there. But anyway, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me support the county allocation of revenue bill 2026 at the risk of repeating a lot of things that my colleagues have already said. Mr. Speaker, I've seen the first schedule, the equitable share of revenue allocated to different counties. And Mr. Speaker, let me say generally, the allocations have gone up, Mr. Speaker, as already stated, by more than 13 billion. Mr. Speaker, Kajiado County in particular, which is a county of my interest, even as I have an interest in the rest of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, my home county, Kajiado, is going to receive 9.8 billion, Mr. Speaker. And in the second schedule, Mr. Speaker, the county budget ceilings on recurrent expenditure, Mr. Speaker, I see Kajiado is going to expend around 500 million shillings, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, like all other colleagues, let me say if this money is well spent, if our counties stick strictly on prudent expenditures, Mr. Speaker, on devolved functions, Mr. Speaker, then the entire country will feel the benefit of devolution, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have never understood why governors would in particular want to do, give themselves, other errands besides devolved functions, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Constitution was very clear on the functions that counties need to do. And I'm sure this was well informed by the realities on the ground, Mr. Speaker. Counties were expected, Mr. Speaker, to address water shortages, access to clean water, Mr. Speaker. Counties were expected to address the issue of health services, roads infrastructure, Mr. Speaker, in accordance to the classified roads. Mr. Speaker, agriculture and livestock production, Mr. Speaker, veterinary services, and issues to do with the environment, Mr. Speaker, which are crucial, Mr. Speaker. Another very important duty of the counties is basic education, provision of basic education, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if counties can concentrate on these very important functions, they will not even need to be struggling with functions that are meant for the national government and that already have an allocation for, with the national government, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have seen our county staff going without payments. Their statutory deductions of SHAF and NSSF and their loans not being remitted, yet they are being deducted, Mr. Speaker. I have not understood such a malfunctioning system in many, many counties, Mr. Speaker. I've never understood, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with the kind of resources we have allocated to counties, we now expect counties to absorb the UHC
Senator Tobiko,
members, Mr. Speaker.
You will have 15 minutes to conclude on your contributions tomorrow. Okay. Because it is now 6:30 p.m. and it's time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 17 June 2026 at 9:30 a.m.
Are you out of data? Muthui Solutions Hub brings you amazing data deals, tunukiwa, minutes and SMS deals purchased with or without Okoa Jahazi. To get these deals, pay exact amount to till number 6964518. For more enquiries, reach our 24/7 support at